This is Dr. Justina Agnieszka Chevalier. In this part of the lectures, I had written in footnotes, and I would like to explain what it is that for a facility or a given place, I will start from description from a jail, for instance. And please don't kidnap me, and when you have such urge, analyze why that is. Use those videos for God's sake and learn from all this and do it yourselves. And when you have doubts, when there's the personal individual demand and you need my work, or when you need preliminary evaluation and that is not enough, then hire me and pay me, because when I have funds, I can offer you immediate assistance. When you provide me with network that listens and does not call me a sweetheart non-stop to, for instance, staring at my boobs because that person is a boss of something for 20 years, unable to have still a marriage, that really helps us all to be on agreeing on what it is that I have to do to be able to consider even that person serious, be it as a worker or as the anything personal, having that age as a spouse candidate. So that is in no resentment, but you see, you have to help distribution of that information, please. And assimilation in its totality is important, yeah, I promise you. And so now let's start. In a presence of demand, so there's demand, I email or I phone if I have phone. I usually email because it's easier, it's to read and message is there. Many persons ignore. I know I've explained already how it is. Consider hiring in person or responding. Then I offer preliminary field evaluation on basis of being land graduate, leadership, education, neurodevelopmental disorders, and ask graduation to have me licensed worldwide as already fully fledged physician, and to then pursue evidence-based medicine. I chose two things. I chose one, epidemiology as head of my committee with a specialty in reproduction. Then I pursued evidence pursuit of that in children, in prevention of any sort of problems from relationships manifested in children. And I added to it, because my father died, a personal goal, learning what DSM and all of the mind's neuropsychiatric things come from also socially, in law before, and later on in also pursuit of such as burnout syndrome and mind things, even on the extracurricular hours in extra time, in fact non-stop, incessantly, not doing anything else, in research and in everything else. And that makes me an expert, unique in the world, because I have information similar to that person, for instance, who, having college degree, obtained great expertise, or my prior mentor who, not having in mitochondrial disorders energy, that I also added as part of own training, because it is important. Energy is important to all. Sexual desire is an energy, emotion is an energy. Energy is also to move, that is also an energy. To run, it is energy. So I also added that ATP is energy also, in different words, but it is energy to move, to do things. I added that to behavior and to all of that things, and based on that I make, if there's demand, offer. I have this and that video, for instance, that's an offer. If there's somewhere life in harming harm, or being harmed to prevent harm when that harm was originally not there, so iatrogenia, name it or not, in quasi-medical or medical practitioners, it is a problem. We don't want to do that because it's the same as killing cows to die of heart attack. So that is why I then approach and send, sometimes if there is death and I am literally thrown around to take an action, for instance, so that elders survive, I have to run and first make sure that the whole thing knows about it, that I present offer, and when I see it, even as a cleaning lady or whatever it is that I am at once present at home, have to do. If you pay me, it really creates less resentment, so I can then evaluate a report, make A multidisciplinary, a strategic consultant. This is what I am. Multidisciplinary means I am elaborating subgroup strategy to delegate to others in presence of funds, obtaining and delegating obtention of funds, like writing grants. I can write some grants. I've done that before. Help persons also establish business plans and things like that. And I do such as independent consultant. Why? Because I am that special and I have that much to offer. And you can invite me to lecture to whoever it is that needs that. You can invite me to capacitate. I have experience in training one-on-one elderly persons of different than medical capacity, faculty members, as well as students and youth. And so and as well as parents, for instance. And so I have extensive teaching, exposition, and skills and experience. And that is why I can do it. And now, because I am trying to carry that and push that through, I want to explain that also you can approach me. There's email on YouTube. I now, this is my last day in this bed and breakfast. I now don't know. I am thinking that there is no great demand, that what I've done is enough, because I don't see an email with job offer, and I've emailed enough. So if there's no job offer, I start to head on probably now northeast to do the same again until I've covered enough area and I'm tired enough to actually be able to rest, or well, there is winter and I have to kind of build something and sit down and finish it. I don't have any more field observation. I'm thinking now, if I can, I'll build somewhere a cabin. If I cannot build a cabin, I will go somewhere who provides me means to actually have one done already, even if it's abroad, because I need to care for myself to finish it also for all of yours enjoyment. If you can provide such, great, pay for me, donate me someplace that I can work at. I prefer to be alone because I have to finish this, and also in writing and publish so that you have it and implement it. So field report. First I arrive. I take all of the workers and I make sure that all of the workers in my prior report know about their potential for improvement. And so I start with what is here present, provision of such, and offering whatever it is generalizable to others, so that persons can openly access it, learn immediately, and immediately apply at work. One warning, mind-to-mind connection. So thinking, oh, maybe I am providing that information, maybe I'm doing. No, you need to open it, review it, and corroborate with self, and add whatever it is that I have expertise and others do, to be able to know, okay, now I am fine, I am capacitated, and teach others and know supplement in their specific areas with the same and with your own being on the same page and having the same capacity and plan. And so that is first I approach the workers. If there are persons that are being in harm or killed, I sometimes come across as harsh. It's true. It is also that I am impartial and I do that worldwide. So do not seek any romantic or personal interest in harm or in scolding of any sorts, and do not seek pursuit of harm. I seek and provide, and I do my best always to provide solutions, always. So do not fear me. If you saw that I am upset or cursing, it was because I lost it for a minute, and like I said in Last Evil Man, it is always only because I am having in mind now a warning or preparation that action needs to be taken, so that somewhere someone is not suffering, be it human or animal, and that it does not translate into my upsetness first and cursing, and that is stress for me and not feeling good, or in harm in anybody else later on because of that stress being conveyed to another person, fearing or being upset with me, and we don't work, we're just being upset. Upsetness is a message, okay, there is harm. Where there is harm, okay, who is inflicting it? Okay, what that person can do as an alternative? Okay, provide it. And it makes sure that the person is well and not harmed, because otherwise, like we said, you create harm and then you need in remediation. So in correctional facility, please do all of those exercises as workers. And now it is for the field report. So field report, it is done. For instance, for that Burley jail, what is a general rule that I've learned in personal research and observation? This. For diet, like a place for all the police, at least 2/3 of the country knows about it. First, make sure that your diet is plant-based. That around in the area, I provided recipes, I will do it again. You have fast food every single morning, you self-obtained to the best of your enjoyment, plant-based as policeman, correctional facility worker, physician, nurse, speech pathologist, all of their persons, vegan burger, whatever. If you have profound craving for meat, have it, but know that it is failure of your economy, and work without even hatred or a prolonged one to not to harbor it. Promote that you have that soul, you have right to be healthy. Okay, we have all right to be healthy, and we have right to enjoy all of the animals as if pets or friends. Make them wild, like National Geographic or other does present about domesticated cows that join bisons. We have right to do so with the dogs, like in Thailand as well, so that we are not burdened with those dogs. We don't castrate them to become infertile. And so that is then, remember, for all of the workers, I like that imperfect food schedule. Food should be provided every 2 to 3 hours to workers of correctional facilities. 2 to 3 hours, persons should have personal and stash of food, plant-based, that is plentiful, and calculate that each person in plentiful food consisting of fats, saturated and non-saturated, enough carbohydrates, which are all of the starchy things, beans, rices, and all those things, enough that that person is full, stomach extended, person full, not sleepy. And secondly, that person has also enough proteins. Proteins, where do we derive them? From seeds, from beans. And how do we plan it? Ladies and gentlemen, whatever is in the area in season, spontaneously producing whatever it is possible to use, and in a no killing, promoting that plant growth, collection of such. For instance, we collect fruits, we throw away seeds, and we can use them, and new plants grow as a result of that. That's an example. Beans or whatever seeds we collect, plenty of still seeds to plant. Plants sometimes trimmed, keep on growing, provided more seeds grow. We means that we have proteins. Split pea, for example, split beans, minced, cooked, very quick recipe. Boil it, make a whole container, add coconut milk if possible. It needs to be this. In area, in efforts, persons do not perceive being in human slavery in obtention. In some places in Washington, the prices are not well adjusted. In turn, in other places, it is much too expensive for products from a given area to sell them, like in Arizona. And so it needs to be such that the local products, spontaneously occurring in nature, are first to offer in non-killing and stored for winter. Secondly, those that are obtained by cultivation. Cultivation as scope, remember, all fumigation, whatever we kill, kills, creating a perception of that message in the body as distress, and creating the degeneration as distress, in need of regeneration or remediation. If we kill it and skip it as important. Why suffer if we can do better? And so grow them, grow mindfully in good quantities, and price adequately. Cultivated, higher price. A local, lower price. From abroad, higher price, add transport, pay transport, less sabotage, less terrorism. From very afar, very cheap, they offer, even for free, take and accept. Remember, evaluate if the area is free for those persons also to use if they want to settle, if they offer, for instance, in hopes of forming families and things like that. Less racism or no racism. Okay? And that is also what we first do for all workers. Food needs to be at work. One place, cantina, where that food is present, like in Buddhist monastery, that for instance Chiang-Tai, for free, ladies and gentlemen. If we especially produce food and serve food to others, it cannot be that a starved person or in hospital runs around having M&Ms, and I hear about those M&Ms day and night, about residents also not being able to kill, and have images of obese workers choking on another slice of huge mule or